Hello, hello. Hey, good to see you, Funky. So I am just finishing off something I am helping somebody with. And cool. Hey, good to see. Whoa. What are you building? Okay, let's see what we can do. Matching the code style. Yes, this is the new place. This is the new place. So hopefully it's okay. Reaper, good to see you. Okay. We do code while standing. I actually have no chair. So I'm not really sure what I think about it, in all honesty. But it's fine. Like, it doesn't feel like a transformation for me. Although I do feel like I'd like to sit down from time to time. Probably old age. Okay, so let's make a little PR to this repo. And okay, we'll say let's avoid needless changes. Sorry, everybody. This is what this is Nuxt test utils support for Cucumber, which is not something I've actually ever used before, but someone wanted to use it, and that seems like a legitimate thing to do. And I think that should be supported. And I think we should also add something to the Nuxt test utils repo to give an example, and maybe even add a test. I'm not introducing this. This is it's very good. No magic number. I'm not introducing that. This is already present in the file. Okay. Cool. And let's just create the quick excellent. And I think we can also move this into the Nuxt test utils repo now. So basically, and I'll use this repo as an example of how to create a Cucumber test, if that's reasonable. Okay, so we have our test utils, and I have this Cucumber repo, which I'm just going to clone, or I might even just copy it. Let's see. We have an examples, and we'll say an example app Cucumber. Actually, we'll just create a Nuxt app. Nuxty init. Nuxty init app Cucumber. Hey, good question. What are we doing today? And Biscoitus, good to see you. What are we doing today? We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to have a look at Nuxt test utils, Nuxt image, and a patch release for Nuxt itself, hotfix. So I submitted a patch yesterday and very embarrassingly broke development styles, and so we can certainly handle that. But you're going to get a lot of things. Right. Okay. Oh, I don't want to use bun. This is in a mono repo, so I just need to use pm. And we're going to, actually, we probably would just want to copy this, I guess. I should have done that. Silly me. Okay, we're going to copy app vtest to app cucumber, and hey, nice to see you. And Salma, good to see you too. This is great. Okay, so we're going to create a cucumber example here, and I guess we want all the same tests, but I just need to figure out how to properly test cucumber. And this is our setup. So we've got, I guess, this tests folder, and I'm just going to grab the acceptance tests. And how have they configured cucumber? Right. Someone else may have a different way to do this. Okay, so we have our test utils. We're going to add a test cucumber command, and we need, we'll just keep the cucumber there, and we need to have, what do we need to have? Okay, so we need this cucumber JSON thing. And we will paste that in. Watch Daniel do some stuff he has no idea about. Okay, and we need to copy the tests across as well. Okay, so we now have some tests, namely, I think we don't need the types. I think we just need these things. So let's try that. Let's drop, can I drop everything? So all of that, and we just say cucumber is going to look for test acceptance feature. So on Nuxt off, I would, so that's not something I'm personally working on. That's something that Sebastian and Puya are working on. And I would look at particularly Sebastian's auth Nuxt, auth utils module. So that is probably a very good thing to have a look at. There you go. Okay, so we are going to, like, this format is fine, I guess. Cool. And I guess I just want to make sure that this can run. So we need to install Cucumber. I guess this is the installation step. Let's install. Do you not like my keyboard, Mehmet? Is there something else that's the problem? Okay, and we want to run Oh, you thought that, did you? Would you like me to take a quick look at it? TS node. Okay, why is it using TS node? Oh. There we go. Let's just drop these arrows, double quotes, and then we want a same, and we don't care about this type or the this. Cool. What? That's weird. Okay. Let's just check that I didn't accidentally. No, that's fine. Okay, so this seems good. Let's just try that again. Hello. Yes, on-demand ISR is supported for Vercel. And I think there should be an example. Okay, where is TS node coming in? Oh, I see. It's, well, Julian, hello. Julian's doing lots of amazing things in the last couple of minutes, days, in terms of server components in the latest Nuxt patch. They've been refactored very beautifully. And yes, okay. So does that mean we now get the power of Cucumber tested automatically? I think so. So I think if we go up here, just do test examples, that should run the, what do we run? PNPM prepack. And then we should be able to test examples and add this to our example set. Maybe even we add a runner for it. Stuff is failing. Which one is that? App vtest. Why is that? It must be unrelated. Okay, so let's see what we can do. We don't need a vtest config. And just try and make sure this is super minimal. Don't need the component. All we're doing is just loading the page. We're just testing the end-to-end tests. So this can be as simple as this. Let's see if I can refactor this actually and make it simpler. So we currently have setup, and what we do is we have these setup maps. So what we can do is add Cucumber and say Cucumber is setup Cucumber, and we will do that. So import setup Cucumber from Cucumber, and we will create a Cucumber TS file. And basically what we want to do is, just like with Jest, we have an async function, and we do this, and then that, return that. And so basically we want to this. So we can run these things in here. And before, I think we actually don't need even to set it on this. We should just be able to do that. Okay, so we have our after each, after all, and then our before, which should basically be before each. Let's see if we can do it just with that. And what are the options that we're passing for before? Oh, and we have to import cucumber. Like this. Like that. And then we should be good. Yeah, that's very definitely a spam message. Okay, so we have our cucumber import, and I think this is basically what we want to do. At some point, we are going to be able to set runner, and so we can say that it can be run test options is going to be vtest or just, I guess. Oh no. Or cucumber. And let's see, what else do we want to do? We need to add this as an optional, as a dev time dependency, and an optional dependency as well. Pure dependency and an optional pure dependency. This. And then we'll do the same here. Cool. Carlos, good to see you. My volume low. I honestly am not recommending that you use cucumber, but this might be useful for people who do. Right. Let's just refactor the test that we built in a moment ago to use our new test runner. And so what we have in, we have a manual create test. So what we probably want to do is, basically this. Await setup, runner, cucumber. And hopefully this is just going to work. It's because it needs to be pre-packed, I think. And then instead of just using this page, we use await create page like this. Let's try that. And now, fingers crossed. No guarantee this is going to work. And it works. Amazing. Okay, so we've just built a test runner for Cucumber for Nuxt test utils, which works pretty simply, it looks like. So I think that we can submit a PR for that. Cool. Looks like we might need to dedupe some dependencies. Actually, let me just fetch. I'm just going to delete our log file here and stash all of these changes. Oh no, we'll just go to feed cucumber runner. And fetch origin, get rebase origin main. Hey Hobbit, and hey, look, Aussie boy, good to see you, and Fadamakas, hello. Okay, oops. Reinstall lock file changes and add cucumber test runner. Cool. Okay, let's see if we can oops. Hey Winter. Oh, thank you. This looks good. But we need to run an install, so. Slow, as in they took a while to come out. That is true. You're going to get lots of releases today, I hope. Ugh. Really? I'm allowed to push it. I think I need to say main. Why would this be a problem? Ugh. That is me being stupid. Okay, let's just pull this out. Call it chore dev deps. Push it up to R. Nuxt 4, it'll be out first quarter this year, I would think. But I'm hoping to write a vision for 2024 in the next week. So you can expect to see something on that soon. Okay, what's happening here? We have got before all hook errored. Interesting. That's fine. Something I can look at in a second. This is a perfectly good fix. It's a pleasure. No, I'm glad you like it. It's fun for me too. It's helpful. Let's see, are we ready to go on this? See what else we have got to go. Anthony thought this was good, so I think we'll just go ahead and merge it. What would we say? This is going to be a module, I guess. Yeah. Hey, nice to see you. And what else can we go ahead and upgrade? Playwright. Although I think we'll first add this. Nope, sorry, wrong. Yes, it is tricky, isn't it? When things come last to your platform. That's a pain. This is pulling in vtest 1.2. So that is going to be a problem. Let's just update that here. So, why is it pulling in vtest? It shouldn't, it should say 1.1. Git checkout origin main, pm lock file. Cool. Good afternoon, Q. Oh yes, Vue 4. I think we all got out of sync with Vue versions. I think we might get at least a couple of Nuxt majors before Vue hits another major. Aha. Nope. We will do Vue. Nuxt major versions will still have breaking changes in them. They won't be the breaking kind of change that you need to rewrite your app for, like Nuxt 3 or Vue 3. But there will be breaking changes, but just hopefully minor ones that are gently upgradable. Okay. Okay, let's see. Is there a way to wait for an API call to be completed before loading a page? You can do it in middleware. So if you're not using Nuxt, you could use Vue Router in middleware and wait for it to be completed. And you should check out Eduardo's loaders RFC for a view router. Vapor is very cool. I love the ability to basically get the best of both worlds and have sort of stateful components, like what you might have at the moment, components with their own instance, and then something that's more, that has got its sort of no VDOM when it's coming. What's happening? So I think that would be quite a useful thing. It would be quite nice. Let's merge this, and this is just going to be a chore. Okay, see you later, Omar. Divine, that's very kind. That is very kind. Next experimental feature that will make it into production, well, bundler resolution will certainly be there in 3.10, I think. So what we're doing, well, first what we're doing is we're making some updates to Nuxt test utils. And then we are going to bump a Nuxt version. And we are maybe going to also bump Nuxt image. I think we should be good with that too. So those are some 3 packages that we'll release some updates for today. Okay, Cucumber test runner. Let's make this work. Go back to Cucumber. We'll have to regenerate our log file, I think, because we just changed the workspace. No, it seems to be fine. Now, we had a problem in our test examples. So what is our exact workflow? We run these things. Okay, so dev prepare, prepack, types, unit tests, and examples. No, you ask away. This is now just running some tests for us. Amato, nice to see you. No, I don't. I don't. But someone just asked me to take a look at this. That would definitely be interesting, wouldn't it? Okay, we need to install this. Okay, so this is interesting. This is weird. Like I do think this is a mistake if that's what we're doing. Yeah, we probably shouldn't hard code the 500 hide. I feel that probably should be bound to throttle or something like that. So it's probably we do need to stick that back in. Normal day-to-day workflow is that's pretty much where I start. I want to feel like stuff is okay with Nuxt before I dive into creating some new features or doing anything like that. And sadly, sometimes it means I don't actually get to the point of being able to build something fresh, which is a shame. But yeah, interesting. I think we need to basically right, Q. Your mind went there, my mind did not go there. Okay, so what is the issue? So why seems like a strange error? There's some before all hook errored. It's not erroring here. So what errored? Oh, I should definitely call this setup cucumber, not setup jest. And there's an interesting one, noodle run. I don't know. It's probably not Nuxt. I think it's Next. Yeah, it's Next. But that is open source and definitely worth checking out in terms of the implementation. Why would that? Okay, what is the error? If I can't reproduce it locally, that's a problem. Oh, it's something to do with the fact that it's being run in CI, I think. Yes, Aussie boy, you should do that, or you can do that. We have a test actually in the Nuxt repo where we manually type runtime config, and you would basically see it somewhere. Something like this gives you an example of how you might do that. That's in the docs. You can see it. Bruno, good to see you. And I think we do have an example of that as well in here. Config. So we basically test certain things. what was Linda's question? So I think it's coming along well. The work right now to have a look at is Sebastian's Nuxt authutils module. Check that out. Okay, why would this not be working? I'm guessing it's because it's in CI somehow. So let's somehow, it might be to do with our cucumber config. Oops. Can I just remove this, maybe? Okay, we want to do one more thing on the main branch, and that is basically pin various different Nuxt dependencies. So we want to pin Nuxt schema and Nuxt kit and view. So what's going on? Come on. We want to pin Nuxt schema and Nuxt kit and view. This basically makes your life much easier if you're managing a repo with renovate bot upgrades, because often it can result in multiple versions of schema installed, which is fine in a project, but it can result in type errors if you're building stuff. And view as well doesn't work really if you have more than one view version in a repo. So let's say chore pin view Nuxt versions. This should be fine. View. Oh, yeah. Let's try that. That is really tricky, H2O. Basically, you need to make sure it's in build transpile. So you're right. The issue is that Node is natively trying to load that, and it's not working. The reason it's not working is that it does need a .js extension in ESM in native Node. And so if you want it not to be a native Node, and that's not compatible with a native Node if it doesn't have it, then it needs to be transpiled. And Nuxt, by default, won't transpile packages like source code that's outside of your project directory, because your project directory is like all of your source. And in a monorepo or a layer, you might well have source code, but it's outside the project source. So that is probably the way to do it. What? Oh. Okay, and what I'm doing here, I think probably everyone, if you maintain a module, you would be definitely, maybe it would be a very good idea to do what I'm doing here as well. Hey, Joaquin. Good to see you. It's actually not Vite. It's actually just build transpile. And yes, exactly. You can pass a regexp or a string with the name of the package or the path. A regexp, I think, would probably be the most flexible in your particular case. Okay, great. So we pushed that. Let's rebase this PR, and hopefully it's not going to fail this time. It's failing because of multiple versions of Vue. And hopefully the fact that we now have this resolutions at the root level means that Renovate, when it updates it, will also make sure that things are not duplicated. And that also doesn't solve the issue for Cucumber. Before all hook errored. Why can't I replicate this? Anyone has any idea? So it's a setup hook errored. So the setup isn't working. Why would the setup not be working? Oh, is this right? So that is right. Okay, so that's the path. Yes, that's right. We have test utils. Don't think we need happy DOM. Do we need globby? Nope. TS node, I guess. We probably don't need TypeScript in this case. I wonder if we don't need this. Let's try that. Oh yeah, un.js on the scene. Let's see if I can avoid the node ESM thing. Probably not. Nope. Yes. I wonder if I can do Jitty. Nope. Or maybe it just isn't installed. Okay, anyway, that's fine. We can keep it. But why would that not be working in CI? So what if I try this? Oh, maybe it's the version of Node. That. No. What could it be? Why would I be seeing an issue? I mean, okay, well, I guess we can just, let's update our log file. And let's see if we can, add some logging in this hook. So we have our Cucumber environment. We have our before all hook. So what we can do is this. Try that maybe. And we'll also run it maybe with debug. So let's see. Hey, the pining. Good to see you. And thank you for checking out that PR. I hope it was helpful. Once we get that merged for the next miner, that will potentially be nice for I18N. Okay, so we were expecting this to fail. Oh, but it looks like maybe it's failing for some other reason. Lock file problem. That's weird. Cool. So this is now working fine because we have the resolutions at the root of the module, which is good. So hopefully that will be less worry for us in future. Great. Okay, so our cucumber is failing again. Which means hopefully we now have some... No, it's still failing in a weird way. This is very weird. How can this be an outdated log file? I have just run it. No, Nuxt 4 will be released this year, and it will probably be released in the first quarter. So I think it's important to me that we have momentum with Nuxt, and that although we don't, and that I think momentum is probably the key to avoid breaking changes, because the longer you wait while you're refactoring and changing things internally, it can lead to some real problems, as you say, and we don't want that to happen again. So we won't have that happen again. Right. It's a perfectly valid question, by the way, and I really do feel strongly about it, as you do, which is why I... Okay, while we're waiting for this to do stuff, how close are we to releasing Nuxt? we have some documentation PRs, which don't have to be out for the patch. This is nice. Let's see what the implementation is. This is nice. This is very nice. Okay, but I don't think there's anything else that we need to do before we merge things. Before we release the patch, I mean. Okay, so patch, here we come. This is fixing a very annoying bug, which was that we didn't render style sheets on first load in dev mode. So everything worked fine in production and everything worked fine, but it just added like a 200 millisecond delay before styles are applied, and that's not fun. So we can merge this along with a couple of other fixes too. Okay, so let's merge this hotfix. Okay, so let's see. Oh, it's probably begging me for permission. I actually have written a little script to do it just recently, but it's something we need to fix in changelogin because it is. I would much rather have user handles because then it notifies people on GitHub that they were included in the release, and it's so much nicer. You get their little icons. Otherwise, it just looks like I was the one who released it, and I would. It's a group effort, so I'm on this computer and my script is on another computer, or I would do it. But yes, it's one of the biggest pains for me in terms of the release. No, it should have it. It should. And as soon as I get a chance, I'll put it back in changelogin because that is really where it should be. Let's just, I can't bear to see these little red X's from flaky CI. At some point I should fix that, but I just haven't had the time so far. Okay, commits are there. Let's create the release. But yes, it's all done manually. I did have a look at whether it would be better to do it in an automated fashion. So for example, when the release PR is merged, this could all happen in the CI, which is probably what we're going to end up doing. But there are downsides to that as well, because this way it does force people to be like personally involved. So if someone stole my GitHub token, they couldn't do it. But or someone else's GitHub token, they couldn't release the package. That's the main advantage of doing things as they are at the moment. Right. I'll probably fix this and make my life a bit better. Majid, hello. Okay, cool. Totally reasonable. Okay, let's announce it. Okay, there we go. First release in, and hopefully that resolves any issues we might have. Cool. Now, this is good to merge. And there's one more thing we can have a look at on Nuxt image and get a new feature release out with support for, oh, interesting, this is a different error. Connection refused at 46275. Timeout. That's weird. That's very weird. Okay, so there's some kind of network issue. Unless maybe the... Could it maybe be a problem with having... Oh, is that right? Did you spot that? That would be very, very good attention to detail. 46275. That's coming from app vtest. So app cucumber is the one we're interested in. And app cucumber is listening on not listening. I wonder if it's a timeout issue. And so actually what we have, let's see, because we're currently passing our setup timeout here, and it should be set to 120 times 1,000. Hey, welcome. Nice to have you join us. 34805. Okay. You're saying it is listening. That's app vtest. That's a different test suite. So we're running all the test suites in parallel. And I don't see in App Cucumber that we are listening at all. So I don't think we, like what I would expect to see is this kind of thing print out when we're ready, when we're actually listening. So it looks like it's not timing out properly. Let's try this. We can try also, just wondering whether there's any issues with let's filter. Let's just check that that's going to do what I want. So that should give me a couple more data points. So it should, I should see, like, is it a conflict between test contexts? That's entirely possible. Waiting for CI to run is such a, like, it keeps you on the edge of your seat. Okay, while that's happening, let's pop into Nuxt image, and we can now update IPX to version 3. I've been testing this locally and it's been working very nicely. Let's go. And there's a very nice new feature added which handles layer support for Nuxt image. So I think this is definitely ready to release. And I think that will be quite a nice feature, piece of functionality. Okay, I think you will like that. Let's do it, people. Okay, second release here. Hey, good to see you. And in a second, I'm going to need to go and get a fresh cup of tea because I definitely need a cup of tea for moments like this when stuff is happening here. All done and released, and let's put it here. grab his username or their username. Okay. I do also use bump from Anthony. Change login is a dependency in the Anjs ecosystem. And we've been using it for Nuxt. Oh no, we haven't been using it. We've been using it for some packages in Nuxt. But I would very happily use bump. So if you check out, I think my sanity module, for example, it's a very, very nice workflow because there's a GitHub release workflow that uses changelog GitHub from Anthony. And then it has the release step is basically just bump. And it is just glorious. It's such a great user experience. Okay, so what? This is really weird. I didn't change the lock file, so it installed fine. Oh, maybe it's this merge. Now here it did run, right? And here I've not changed anything, but for some reason it's PNPM is throwing an error. I think this is a cache issue maybe. That is actually probably very wise, Divine. Still not working. I bet it's cache. So if I have a look at our cache issue here, what is our cache key? It should be caching rightly. I still bet it's cache related. But it's not our bug, I don't think. I think this is probably a GitHub Actions bug. Oh, maybe it's this. That would be so nice if it were. So it's running the dev prepare. No, I think we probably have a dev prepare. Ah. Nope, that's it. Okay. So let's just open up our, although why is that not present? Maybe it doesn't need to be. What? Okay, so that worked. Crazy. Okay, so that worked fine. And presumably it was because Cucumber was the only runner. Let's just confirm that, shall we? So let's change this in here. The good news is this will just be an issue with this repo and not with the actual implementation of the code. Probably. Check out, for some reason, everybody's asked me this today. Check out this, which is what Sebastian is working on for the author module. So you can go ahead and use it already. I don't think this is any different from 3.9.2. Like, there's no regression here. And Nuxt is not meant to be imported from CJS, so it's that we can ignore this row. It should throw an error. It shouldn't. We don't support that. But that we do need to internal resolution error. That we do need to fix. Okay, yeah, so it's failing now that we have multiple things running. And that is probably, I would guess, an issue perhaps with the test context being somehow shared between threads. Maybe the issue is that we have TS node running. Could that be the problem? Let's just log the, what is it, timeout. Yeah, that's plenty of time. That's not the issue. I'm just going to briefly update some versions of Nuxt and other things. Yeah, that is excellent. I think the reason people ask about the auth module is they want to see that there's something installable, like built into the framework. But I mean, let's see. This is such a pain. Okay, so we could run, like, I almost feel like what we want to do here is run Cucumber in a separate process, subsequent to the rest. Let's try, could it be this? So, I mean, the loader. Honestly, writing your own code that wraps some helpers, like Lucia Auth there's some great helpers there, and some of the others that Pilcrow has been creating in the ecosystem. They're really good. We've exposed a lot of authentication helpers within Nuxt and Nitro. And I think we're just going to run this. Oh, yes, I am standing. You probably can tell by me waving back and forth. Yeah, I don't actually have a chair here, so it's a sort of standing desk, but it doesn't. I don't really send it down. I do sometimes send it a little bit higher up or a little lower down, like this. Hello, goodbye. But it tends to work quite well. I'm going to stick this up, PR as is. Hopefully, that green will pass. And if you want to make a PR to fix this or change the implementation, then that would be fantastic, because I'm not an expert in any way at Cucumber. Like, I'm just copying someone else's code in order to get us this far. So please do. That would be fantastic. If you're happy to try. This loader is needed for the Cucumber runner. The loader isn't needed for the Nuxt bit. It's because the Cucumber test is written in TypeScript, and so Cucumber can't load TypeScript on its own. It doesn't know how to do that, as I understand it. And if someone wants to submit an improvement to the renovate config here that makes these merge automatically, that would be very useful. Or we could do that now, couldn't we? Okay, let's open starter, and we have our renovate config, I guess, templates. Renovate, and we basically want to is that enough? If it is, that would be amazing. Sure, auto merge all updates. Let's try it. It might do terrible things though. Let's not do that. We want to do it just for some branches. So what should we do? We want to do something like what's an example? We have our Nuxt renovate config. It has some package rules, and so what we're going to do is something like this. Okay, I am going to take a break and grab a fresh cup of tea. Stick around, and hopefully we'll have a third release of at least test utils, and then maybe see what we do next. I will be back, take a break, and hopefully see you very soon. Okay, I am back. Right, with a cup of tea and some paper noten. Oh, these glorious things. And right. So what we want to do is somehow now. What I'd like it to say auto merge, but I think I might have to do an extends. Let's see. So I want to do something like auto merge. Okay, I guess we can just do this. It's gonna work. Okay, so I guess we could probably actually do this for everything. So we could say, do you know, I think paper notions should be eaten all year round. They are just incredible. I think if we just said, is that still valid? Yeah. I don't think we even have to care about the rule. I think that can apply to all branches. Let's try that. Okay, and so what I want is to rerun this on the repo. I didn't want to take a risk of this happening in an automated fashion, but I guess because we can specify only patch or minor, then that we should be safe. So this should just merge in a second. Okay, Cucumber Test Runner is running. So if anyone has any ideas to avoid the requirement to run this separately, then please, please, please come up with a solution, and PR would be great. Yes, they are. And I think, yeah. Anyway, okay, cool. They are just great, though. Okay, let's just check that this is still good. We should probably add some kind of assertion, shouldn't we? Because I'm aware that this is probably not the best. So in our basic app, what do we have? An app vtest. We have like some examples, don't we? So we basically have server generate that we have these. We should probably replicate those in our cucumber test as this. So basically they should be something like, this is weird. Oh, I see that we would put them in here. Let's just do, I guess, these two. So we will say, put that in and put this in. And try that. So we'll basically add a given. So given the user goes to the home page. Oh, I mean, this should actually be it. Okay, so the user goes on the home page. That should work. Is there an expect? Cucumber assertion. Oh, you can just use, so we could actually just, this is awful. Okay, JavaScript. Assert. Well, we can use that. Okay. Do we want to use? do I have to? Can I just pass? Yeah, there's, there we go. Yeah, that's nicer. Very nice and clean. We've got our, yeah, all good. All good. It looks good to me. As long as the tests pass, I think we'd go ahead and merge. I shouldn't have asked for a review because then I feel bad if I ignore it. Right. Are these merging? Not yet. Has it run again? This is what I want, right? Run again on this repo, please. Muting myself so I don't bother anybody else. Okay. Please. Oh no. Oh, it's doing its crazy thing again. Okay. This is just the, no, it's not. Oh no, this is fine. This is a normal flake. A flake I expect. Please. Okay, it has rerun, but it's not auto-merging them. Let's just try. Okay, so I've been giving my own website a little bit of love recently. I was on a little trip, and on the plane, I updated the design. And so I'm going to quickly update it to the latest version of Nuxt. Oh, I really love Tase, and particularly with the ability to specify the packages you want to include, or the regexp. So you can actually just say, hey, I want the Nuxt packages to be upgraded, and that bumps all of them. And is anyone using a package of mine that you would like an update on, or have a PR or an issue on? Something that's not Nuxt specific, but like a module or something else you're using. Because I fancy fixing some other things. And often I don't see updates or PRs because they get drowned out in Nuxt core stuff. So if there is, let me know and we could fix it now. Well, these auto merges don't seem to have worked. So I'm just going to go ahead and merge them manually. That would be good. That would be really nice. You suspect your changes have broken something. Why? Because when you're testing it, it's not working anymore? It's not causing any issues in the current repo. Okay, so I'm going to mute myself again. If you haven't come across it, CodeRabbit seems pretty cool. So CodeRabbit is this thing that will basically review PRs in progress, and it will actually comment on them if there are issues and suggest changes to them. So when I recently, let's see, updated here, I made some not huge changes. One, it summarized it and said this is what happened in this PR, which is fine. It then put some comments saying, I recommend you do this, maybe you should do a little bit more of this, and you're not adding error handling, maybe you should add error handling. There's a to-do comment, you should track this in the issue tracker, not just in the code. I thought it was really, really quite clever. It's neat. So it's Code Rabbit. This one. So this is it's free for open source. So have a look. I do think it's fun. Oh yes, definitely do not run these things on repos that don't belong to you. And if you're making a comment or trying to answer somebody's suggestion, please do not use ChatGPT or any LLM. Like, it's not necessarily great, the output it comes up with, and people might not be able to tell it's produced by a non-human. So I would definitely be very careful. Yeah, rubber duck is good. Nuxt, Nuxtians, Nuxters, whatever. Okay. Let's release this. This will actually be 3.10, I think. That is very sensible. We should probably repeat it in the example of our peer dependency. But What's the matter, Bobby? What PR are you looking at? Oh, weird. It's actually pulled in a stream I'm doing right now. Somehow we need to filter that out. Oh, yes, Bobby. Do you want me to review and or merge some of that for this release? So basically this one, I think we can refactor into like a restart server utility, which just takes the option of runtime config, and then we can keep this one for a future change. Okay, we'll see if we can do that just very quickly then. So, okay, this PR. First, let's see, in our test utils PR, we have start server, I think. Oops. Okay, so start server basically takes no options, and yet it could. So if we were to go to this PR, cool, and I'll just review it here. So, right. This is a very, very good reminder though for me. Mental note. What we need to do is normalize the config at runtime. So currently in test utils, we do normalize config here. No, not in somewhere here we do it. How do we do it? Switching to main. We normalize the config in here. Okay, so we're copying the Nuxt, the Nitro environment code. We should do this in Nuxt, like in the core, and then we don't have to do all of this in the test utils. But for now, this is something we can use, this getenv thing. So we currently use that, sorry, we have apply-env, which we use at this point. But actually, I think we could do that in Nuxt itself. Or Nitro can export it. I'm just going to create a to-do move apply-env to Nuxt startup sequence. So Nuxt doesn't do any apply-env. This is Nitro does, but it does mean that modules don't have accurate information on the environment that's going to be passed to their modules. And if we just basically pull it earlier, I think that would be really helpful. And I think Puya has previously said he would be okay with that. Okay, so this PR here, I think what we're going to want to do, I'll check it out again. Oh yeah, that's true as well. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that well, yeah, you're right. Ah. I don't want to forget Joaquin's point, which is that there's an issue with the root types.d.ts, which this is the Nuxt package types.d.ts here. Yeah, go on. The issue is that this should be .js. And this should be No, this types.d.ts is for this is for non-Node 16 support. So this is for this is a fallback, because Nuxt types here. Wait. I see it is being used there. So it's, yeah, you're right. But if we change it, this will break for non-Node 16. So we can't change it right now. We can create a copy. So we'd have to do like this. Why do you say no? What are you telling me? I think this would be right. So it would then have, we would then be able to have this. And if we test that, come on. Let's try it again, I guess. Okay, we also need to do the same for app, I guess. What is app? App index.d.ts. Oh, that's this. This needs to be that. Oops. Needs to be this. And this needs to be app types. I guess. No, that does need to be app. In this case, actually, the resolution error that it's showing is actually an invalid one, because it actually will work fine in a Nuxt project because we have the alias. But it's safe to do this level. But the Nuxt app literals needs to remain as it is. So it's still going to give this internal resolution error, but that's actually fine, because it's using internal aliases like #app. And I'm not worried about node 16 from CJS, because that is not a valid use of Nuxt. So everything else should be fine. Nuxt itself, there was this, but that is now fixed thanks to Joaquin. So I think I would raise an issue on Nuxt content. Let them know. And I know Ahad is looking at it today, so do just do that. That would be great. Sure, Nuxt app. Nuxt node 16. Fix Nuxt. Create second declaration file with correct this failure is because we have a different image. So it's not working, but we'll fix that in a sec. Okay, so we have Nuxt itself. Just quickly create the PR. We might add a shared. It actually might make sense to have a shared thing here. So basically, what we do is like types shared or maybe type augments or something like that. No, because we need them for the augmentations. It's a pain. Well, I think that's probably the best we can do for now then. Okay, let's return to test utils. So we have this. I think we can basically keep the tests. We're going to want to update them though. So what we want to do is, instead of set runtime config, we'll do set start server. I was thinking more just being able to set certain environment variables. So something like that was what I was imagining this might look like. So what is it? Public my value. So then start server would basically take that, it's fine, and basically, yeah, it's going to override any node ends that already exist. That makes sense to me. So we then this should be fine. And then, oh, it's basically just an option that we can easily add to start server. It makes sense. It doesn't add too much or change the service value too much. And then we can make sure to handle the runtime config normalization at some other point. So we can then remove this file. And revert the change to this and the lock files. So okay. Move solely as option to start server. Let me just check. Do I need to actually do that? Do we not just check first? Yeah, we already do that. We don't need to add this in. Okay, just check. Beautiful. Okay, so so this should now be a super simple. All we are doing is supporting env and passing it through. This looks good to me. And we've got tests. Seems good. So it doesn't fully address the need for runtime config normalization, which is absolutely something we need. But this is something we can merge today and is quite a use. I don't see why we don't have it. We should already have this. Does it look good to you, Bobby? Is this okay? Yeah. Don't lose your code. Like, yeah. Okay, happy days. So I think let's squash and merge that. Yeah, that one, I think. Okay. I moved house, actually. This is a totally different place. I'm in Edinburgh now, as opposed to Durham. So that's what's going on. Okay, so should we release it? Release test utils with these changes. and has some bug fixes, 2 new features. Hopefully good to go. Oh, wait. I might have to undo that last commit and let changelog and manage it, because that's the release script we've got here. So just remove the, let's try that instead with npm release. Hey Brocard, nice to see you too. Okay, we have released this as well. Cool. Um, okay, your plugin that gets user data. So plugins are automatically awaited. So if you have an async plugin, it will be awaited. And it will be awaited before the page is even loaded. So you need to make sure that that is, it's very difficult to say without seeing your code, but it should work. Cool. Okay, so we have a release of that. So we've done 3 releases. So now is a very good time to suggest another possible solution for me. And I'm going to small one who is crying in the house. And that will make me and you sad. So, yes, so this is why the test is failing here. So if we don't mind, let's do a quick fix of my website. And this will only ever, this would be a total edge case, but I have this Twitch streams endpoint. Which is here, I think. And it currently pulls in all of my videos. But let's log the first one. Do I sort them anywhere? I must do. No, I don't. Okay. Let's just log it. Okay. So what I want to know is it in progress? Like, is it public or not? Viewable. How is that? Oh, it's viewable, I guess, because it's happening. And then it's a 404 because it's not yet published. Well, we can't have this part of the I currently have a test suite which does some snapshots, and it probably has a snapshot of the home page. Where would that be? This? No. That? Yeah, that's a problem because that means that every time I stream, it's going to change like what is snapped. What is the problem? Like, I mean, I guess there are a couple of things. So one is we can filter somehow by 404. So something like um, wait. Oh, it's heavily cached, so it's probably not. Okay, let me just quickly check both of these PRs. Okay, so point of this is Jasper, I don't mind either actually. The key thing though is that a fetch wrapper, depending on what you're doing, like if you're adding response handlers that invalidate cookies, it needs to be bound to the context. And so either way, it needs to be a composable that's called in setup, or it needs to be a helper function that is exposed through a plugin. Typically, I try and use plugins for as little as possible, so I would probably build that as a composable. But it's still going to have to be bound to the context somehow. So, Woof, I would first say, um, if you can avoid making changes to the package.json or lock file, if you don't need it, then that would be better in the PR. Second, it looks like we don't have a way of referring to the user right now. And what I wonder is that whether the use user session is, because we don't have the require user session that you suggest in the PR, we need to fix the types, I think, rather than removing it from them. And I think there should be a way of fixing the types without making this runtime change to the code. That would be my recommendation. Oh, I appreciate this. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, that looks great. Perfect. That is the way to do it. And here, this has been implemented, right? For the cell. Yeah. Mm, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we have a Vercel approach, but someone was asking about Vercel earlier. So if you're asking about Vercel, this is how to do it on Vercel. And if you need to do it more generically in Nitro, which is the issue linked. Okay, yeah, that's good. So we'll say fix don't display streams. Cross. Okay, and what other issues were there? Was a lighthouse change. That's to do with third parties. I suspect that is to do with this, but let's see. Yeah, that's why. So basically, let's just push this and it should solve the issue. And I can then review that later. Okay, so one more thing, given that I'm sort of at the end of the 3 releases, here's something I thought might be a fun exploration, except it's very me focused. So if you go to my website, then and check it out on page speed. Be right back. Turning slide. Okay, so if you go to my website here, you'll see that there is a recommendation in page speed. And I think this might be a cool thing, maybe to implement a Nuxt image, but it's always worth testing it first before we do that. Oh, that's extremely low. It's just to do with the server response time. Like if we redo it, it will be a lot faster. Okay, so we have the that should be preloaded. That's weird. Anyway, we have this. Image elements don't have explicit width and height, which is, I'm just going to rerun this because I can't bear the fact that it's come in so low, and I think it's not accurate. We have these images. So these images are coming in for the streams. No, for the conferences. But we don't have any idea the size. And I've just manually pasted in some open graph images in order to render something that looks like, oh, it's really strange. And I'm sure this is preloading. Yeah, should be preloading. So why would it not? So it's saying this one, the static CDN. Oh, it's because these are not in the domains, I guess. Oh, they are? They should be. So why wouldn't it be preloading that image? So this is what should be preloaded. But for some reason, it's not preloading that. So what's the difference? It's the amp. That seems to be the issue. So it's rendering the image with a source of amp, and that means it's not. That's weird. Okay, that's something we need to figure out. Okay, that's another thing for another time. But basically, I was wanting to do this. So we have a list of upcoming conferences, and I'm going to remove the images here. But we're going to need to have some images, and ideally we want to have height and width. So what we want to be able to do is iterate over these and add in. Okay, let's try this. Okay, we want to fetch the. I'm just writing it here for convenience. We'll extract it to Nitro API. What we want to be able to do is fetch the link. So DNS prefetch. Why should that be there? It is on my server. It is a local image. It's not being served remotely. Okay, so const keep on thinking I have a cup of tea, but it's all drunk. Uh, yeah. Okay, let's try that and see if it works. Okay, it seems to have worked. That's fun. Okay, so now that's dynamically pulling in our images. And what I would like to do is also pull in the dimensions dynamically. So we need to be able to do that like this. Yeah, thank you. Get image dimensions. So what is the best way of image metadata? Cool. Okay, I'm not sure if this is the best thing to do, but let's do it. Okay, so we're going to have a server API route, and it's going to be, say, upcoming conferences. And let's see. So basically what we want to do is this. And then in here, we just need to say use fetch. And we're going to pop in API upcoming conferences. And now we should be good, right? No? Oh, it is on 3001. Oh, I see. Arg. What's going on? Okay. Reload. Okay. So that is here. That is working. Cool. So what we need to do now is use image size if we can. Is there something we use in Nuxt image actually? Let's just check. Image meta. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Let's try that then. Okay. So what we want to do here is fetch the images. So basically say we're going to fetch the OG image. Then if not OG image, return conference. Cool. Okay, so this should allow us, hopefully, to get some metadata on the images. And then what we should be able to do in here is iterate over them And rather than image, we have an image URL. And we also have some sizes. Oh. Okay. What's going on with our upcoming conferences? Oh, the problem is it doesn't always exist. So what would we want? I think we're just going to assert that it exists, and we're going to solve that later. Right. Let's try that. Oh. Hey, Esteban. Good to see you. Okay, not working because, oh, there's no buffer. It's weird. Let's try. Okay, what is image matter expecting? Oh yes, it throws an error if it can't be determined, but I don't think that's what we're encountering. We're actually encountering an error with the. Okay, we need a uint8 array. Yeah, of course it should be. Okay, so let's revert that. And it's telling me that buffer is not a function. Let's try this then. Well, hmm. I don't think that's the issue. I mean, that's definitely not the issue. I think, what version of Node do I have? 20. Okay, I think I just need to do something like this. Uh, hey, glad you're joining us. Okay, let's see. Yes. Okay, we now have results. So we should add a fallback image. So something like image, that should be fine. And what we could do is basically, there we go. So now, fingers crossed. Amazing. Okay, so, and we can probably do this only in production, maybe. Um, so we avoid calling this so frequently. So if import meta dev, return something like that. Cool. Although it will now definitely not display it, so we could also ignore that. This is great because now we actually have real sizes for these images. And this is something that we can use later on, maybe in Nuxt image, to have automatic image size detection for for things in production. Safe Node, good to see you. Okay. See you later, Julian. This obviously doesn't run. So this runs only in once in at the build time. So this wouldn't run again in production, I believe. Okay, let's see. Any issues in Nuxt? Cool. Nothing fresh. CMS. Um, Lots of good options is the answer. I maintain a package which is Sanity integration for CMS. Lucy, who's also a core team member, maintains integration for Prismic. Storyblock are very active in the Vue and Nuxt community. Definitely worth checking them out. There are lots more, honestly. So I wouldn't let Nuxt support hold you back one way or another. I definitely check out. Oh, interesting. Definitely check out stuff here. So lots of stuff, and there are more that aren't listed on the Nuxt modules list. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. Oh, it's a cool plugin called APM, which I haven't updated my config yet. I think it's APM. No, it's not APM. Where is it? Where is it even? APC, um, which is basically this. So let's see. Oops, that pasted a lot more than I wanted to. Just the URL, I guess, is what I'm looking for. And so with a little bit of configuration like this, you can set the them to appear down there. You do have to make it native title bar style. Okay, let's see if this fixed the issue. Now, there's a page speed API, right? We should be able to get, yeah, page speed insights, and we should be able to get something here. So I think it would be quite fun, maybe now is the wrong time, for a project to actually use this API to do some interesting stuff. Oh yes, but we're testing this. And yes, it now is not complaining about the OG images because they have explicit width and height. Very cool. Okay. What? Great. Okay, this is really good stuff. I have an idea of something to create. Might have to be in a future stream. Yes, there's a next module, but I have an idea for just a very useful little public site we could create. But I feel like we're at the end of a stream today. It's been a lot of fun. I have enjoyed this immensely. And we have released 3 different things. So that's a definite success. And built some new features along the way. Let's see who we can go raid. And I think Josh Goldberg would be a fantastic choice. It has been so much fun. So thank you for joining us. And thank you, Punky. That's very, very nice of you to say. But yes, let's go raid Josh and find out what he's doing. And almost certainly maintenance, probably very similar to everything I've been doing too. It's a pleasure.